Alright, yo yo yo, it's your boy Yoshikidneo, and we are back in the World of Boridil, the adventures of Boridil. And if you don't watch both of my campaigns, well, now you really can't. This is my only campaign as of now. Our last campaign, or our last session for the other campaign was officially over on Saturday. Too many life changes are going on, and too many dynamics are changing to where I just want to run one campaign, and I definitely have more fun with this group being, all of us pretty close friends and known each other for years. So it just makes I don't know, something about it just makes it to where it's more fluid, more organic. But we're going to continue playing Mondays. That won't change at all for this group, so hopefully we see you and you enjoy what we got going on. Today should be a pretty interesting session. The party just finished the black market auction and got out of there with some pretty sweet loot. And today they're going to be going around, I think, and talking to some folks and trying to find some work. So let's see what exactly it is that they're going to do, shall we? Whoops. Alright. So the last time that we had seen our heroes, you guys had gotten some work from your good pal Joker. He wanted you guys to essentially partake in a black market auction. The goal wasn't revealed to you until a few moments before the auction actually started, and he had given you a large sum of gold to purchase one particular item, some sort of jade tablet. He said that no one's been able to read what it says. It's very ancient, and this benefactor of his really wants it. So you are to essentially spare no expense in order to obtain this, and that is why he gave you a magical gold sack, I guess, that would have the funds needed to purchase this item. You guys entered the auction house and were immediately greeted by two people. One of them introduced himself as Stenmeyer, which you later figured out he is a member of a group known as the Sanguine Brothers. Or the Brother Sanguine. Man, I mixed up my own faction. And his, what you could say, lover is Mary. These two, for whatever reason, recognized Quinn, but not because of his looks, more because of his smell. And they revealed that they had actually seen Quinn's younger brother, Kai, and that Stenmeyer had taken a little taste of his blood and said that there was something different about it. He couldn't really put his finger on it, but there was something about Kai's blood that made it even more tasty. You guys kind of, well, Quinn anyway was a little shooken up from this. One, he doesn't know if his brother is safe or not, and two, now there's this random vampire that all of a sudden wants to take a bite out of Quinn. But he left him alone and went and sat near who you guys know as Lord Martillo. You guys all sort of spread out to try to make it a little inconspicuous that you guys were working together. And during that time, each of you had met somebody different, somebody that you were able to sort of talk to while everybody in the auction house got settled before the auction began. Saberwolf, you met two people. You met Anton, who calls himself and is referred to as the librarian. He gave you a special little card that would allow you to essentially find out where he was so that you could either buy or sell information, as he is a information broker. You also met Avrain, who is a Medusa of a paler complexion and also claims to be a traveler from the Yodian Empire. Vikavor, you met. Where'd she go? Oh, I didn't put her token out there. Whoops. I'll come back to Vikavor. I didn't put Elsbeth out there too. I fucked up, guys. I'm not prepared, I guess. Anyway. Let's see. Let's put Elsbeth out here. So our good friend Snoopy met Elsbeth, a pretty, well, a very beautiful woman, and part of the Dreadful Seven, a group of hags that are all, or that have all been referred to by the rank of grandmother, something that is not easy to obtain in the hag world. Mainly because usually hags make enemies more so than they make friends. So the fact that their grandmother status means that they've lived for a very long time. This didn't dawn on Snoopy until later in the evening, and then he realized just how powerful a woman he was sitting in their lap, which is hilarious. The other persons that you met, Balrin met a dude, but I don't think we'll go into that at all because Balrin's not going to be playing with us anymore. But Vikavor, you met a lady named Vire, and she essentially seemed to be a lot like you. She said that she's trying to find more power for herself so that she can get away from the power that she currently has. And you actually were able to dupe her and sell your mundane ass quarterstaff for 300 gold, telling her that it was magical, but you had to find out how it was magical and, you know, go on that way. So that was very interesting for sure. Let me actually bring up the Ruby Palace auction.
I'm just gonna later on when you come back, like, the magic was always within you. So.
The magic's in your mind.
You also met a gentleman named Soren, who was trying to outbid you, and you seemed a little shooken up when you finally talked to him and he called you out on. Basically, he told you he kind of had a feeling he knew what kind of powers you had or what you were capable of. Which I guess made you nervous. So you decided to fuck off. This is Soren right here. Saberwolf, you had also had the pleasure of meeting Sergio Casero, who is, from what you know, the leader of the Silver Guardians. He had told you that when the full moon comes out, he would love to officially meet you at the quarantine, is where he said he would give you access. And that will happen in about 5 days' time. Well, it will happen in 5 days' time. Now that we're officially on the first day of the month, it just took 5 sessions to get there. And Quinn, the final thing that you had pretty much learned at the sort of the end of the whole auction is you were spoken to by Lord Martillo, or actually you went to go and speak to him and Stenmeyer to try to figure out more information about your brother. And Lord Martillo had questioned you about how the children that you guys adopted were doing. And he gave you a very, very firm threat that if anything were to happen to them, he will spare no expense. With that, the auction started off. You guys cleaned house on most of the on all of the magical artifacts, but you did end up losing. Well, everybody lost. No one actually had a what's it called? A firm chance at getting these magical, well, not magical, these mundane ancient relics. But this turtle that had appeared out of nowhere, out of this like black portal, called himself Lid. He came through and purchased the entire collection on his own. Then the auction took a shift and went to a silent auction, where you guys had the opportunity to do silent bidding on a few paintings. The thing that threw you off was that the paintings definitely looked like they were somewhat brand new, painted within the last week or two, but they were sold off as being older. Some of them a couple hundred years, some of them at least a couple years, if not a couple months, which was very fishy, so none of you ended up buying it. At the end of the auction, though, you found out that these pictures, it wasn't the paintings that the patrons were purchasing, it was slaves. That you ended up seeing a couple of the slaves face to face and realized that they are the exact portrayal of the picture that you guys had seen in the other room. So now you kind of have an idea of what exactly happens in these bi-weekly auctions. Afterwards, you got all of your stuff and you left. You took some very, very well thought out precautions in putting Saberwolf under the guise of an invisibility spell while he held the Emerald Tablet. And as you guys exited, Joker told you that he would come by your quarters in the morning to retrieve the tablet. You guys made your way to Gnu Inn's Inn, and from there you gathered around in one room, sort of hashed out a little bit of a plan, and then began your long rest. So if you didn't do it last session, during the long rest, go ahead and gain your spell slots and class or racial abilities back. Determine how many hit die, if any, you want to roll. I think Vikavor and Snoopy are the only two that are missing HP right now, so type how many you want to roll in the chat and then go ahead and roll them. And then after you roll them, you can go ahead and regain 4 hit die since y'all are level 8. Actually, it looks like Quinn is missing some HP too.
Yeah, I had that thing where I got bit. That temporary health loss.
Oh, yeah. Which actually,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
after the long rest, all of your HP comes back, so you should have you should have a total of 63.
Is that because
max.
I bit you?
No, that's from when he got bit by Strahd earlier that morning.
Oh. Who did I bite? Was that Vikavor? Yes.
Yeah, I
He's
believe
gonna
it was.
outblast me.
Go back up, or do I need to roll hit die for that?
You'll
gain
still
my
have to roll
morale.
hit die to gain back any of the HP that's missing.
Okay, so I need to roll that. What do I do exactly?
Yes.
I'm confused.
So, tell me how many hit die you want to roll, and you have 8 of them available, so you could roll all 8 of them, and then afterwards you're going to hit your hit dice formula, which is just pressing that hit dice button like Gerald did.
If
and
I
it'll roll it for you.
do, I have to roll all 3 of them if I got my max within the 2 rolls.
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
That's why I tell you to. That's why I tell you to explain or tell me how many you're rolling, because
I
you
got a long
can
ways.
go overboard.
I got a lot.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting.
And then I
that
just the hit dice button.
Yep, hit it 5 times and then add it all up and regain that much.
Golly.
Wow,
God,
dude.
dude.
That's
You
not.
should have done that for character
no.
creation.
Like, for real. I hope we didn't waste all our freaking.
Why is Vicavor's hit die a D8?
It is a D8.
Are you asking me? I was like, 'cause I definitely don't know why.
Hold on, and I will figure out why. Because I think what happens is sometimes the or they did an update to the character sheet, and I'm almost certain that everybody. Well, no, warlocks have a D8 for hit points.
Do they really? I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Wizards are
sorcerers
the
and
only
wizards that
have.
6.
Yeah, they have 6. Yeah.
And
I think it's
just added
because they get like so you're fine on your thing. Joe is trying to call you out for no reason. he be like that.
It's so funny that the warlocks have the same hit die as several martial characters.
Yeah, I think it's because the lack of spell slots, but I mean
Mhm.
you still get the short rest buffing you and stuff. But yeah.
What lack? Got
I know,
3.
right?
I think
True.
it's also they have a hexblade class.
Yeah, so it's somewhat martial. That makes sense.
What level is everybody?
You guys should all be level 8.
Okay, cool.
So now, during your long rest, 3 hours of it can be spent awake, and the other 3 are spent asleep. So is there any form of watch while you guys are in the inn? Because I'm not sure if you guys are on edge or not, so I ask.
It's just me and Saberwolf in one room, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are the rooms?
I think Balrin's there. Essentially, all of you were given your own room. Balrin said that he was going to just do his Warforged, chillin' with Saberwolf to keep an eye out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do watch.
Okay. Go ahead and regain 4 hit die real quick. So 4 towards your maximum. So I think essentially the only person that's not going to have all their hit die is going to be Vikavor. You'll have 7.
I am missing 1.
Well, at the
I had-
end of the rest, you get half of your hit die back. Or did you already use some for the cockatrice
I had-
fight, didn't you?
I had 4, and then we gained 4, and then I used 1.
Tight. That
I
works.
just really don't like being -3 HP.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
I feel ya. Okay, so for those of you that are taking a watch, Balrin is going to essentially be watching the whole 6 hours because he is able to. And Quinn.
Since I'm a
anyone else
hermit,
doing a watch?
can I go outside and do my watch?
Sure.
Just like sit down.
Yeah. Where exactly from the inn? You know that each room has a window, and it's kind of like it's not a multiple story building. It is a single story building, and it essentially breaks off into what looks to be kind of like a horseshoe shape. So there's the front, which is the base of the horseshoe, and then it curves off into 2 long hallways with rooms on both the outside and the inside of, or on both sides of the hallway, I guess is a better. And you guys are on the left side on the inside, if that makes sense. If not, I can draw it. I'm gonna draw it.
Thanks.
So here is the horseshoe shape. This X represents the front desk. This X represents the window that you guys, or the side of the window that your windows are on. Damn, I can't speak today.
Where did you draw that at?
You need to when you.
It's sort of in the middle bottom of the map.
Are we still on the
I
world
just-
map? Or
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
see anything you
shit.
put on there.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Go get her. Go get her, Charlie. Graham.
So yeah, there's windows on the outside of the horseshoe and on the inside, and you guys are on the inside of the horseshoe on the left. So being outside, do you want to be at like the front entrance? Do you want to be outside the window? You want to be at sort of like the opening to get on the sort of inside of the horseshoe.
I'll be at the entrance.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me a perception check, please. That's for Balrin.
All right.
So Balrin is more fascinated with these new bullets that he's got, and he keeps looking them over and kind of loading them in his gun, snipping it, and then sort of pointing it at the wall, unloads it, puts it back in the little bag, puts it in the thing. He's not paying attention at all as to what's going on around him. Quinn, as you're outside, you're kind of just looking around, and there is a river that's nearby you. And one thing that you see with the moonlight being out is every now and then you see sort of like a shimmer. You kind of look over there and like you can't even see the water, but on occasion you see something pop up above the sort of I guess canal, the sides of the canal, and you see it sort of shimmer and then hop back into the water. It's probably 100 feet away from you.
I go to inspect.
Okay. You roll over there, and as you're looking over the canal, you just see a bunch of these silver-scaled fish sort of jumping out of the water. And every now and then, when one of them jumps out, you hear a sort of like, and you kind of like rub your eyes to see if you're seeing things, but there's a frog that's on a big-ass lily pad, just sitting in the middle of this canal, which is probably about 20 feet below where you're at. And it's just sitting there looking around. One of the fish will jump out, and its tongue will lash out and grab the fish, and it swallows it whole. It then takes a look up at you, and it waves with its 3 fingers.
Can I'm gonna talk to it first. Go ahead. Did you say?
Oh, I just said neat because Kirsten brought me food.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna speak to it in its language. I'm gonna say hello there.
And as it looks at you, it's kind of weary-eyed that you're able to talk to him. And another fish pops out to his left, so he turns, spits his tongue out, grabs it, and sucks it in, swallows it whole. Hello.
I tell him, oh, what time is it?
It is roughly about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m.
Okay. So I tell him hello, and then I say, nice night for fishing, ain't it?
You're fucked.
Oh no.
Great day for fishing, ain't it? And he kind of chuckles at you and he goes, it's always a good time for fishing. Especially when the moonlight's out. Easier to see these things.
Could I use druidcraft to like help him at all? Like, would that be a thing? make
Help
the-
him catch fish?
Yeah, like I guess like make the fish pop out more, or give him some more light so he can see.
Sure, yeah. You cast your druid craft and you're able to essentially mimic the rays of the moon in a certain part, and you notice that the fish are attracted to the shimmers of the moonlight on top of the river. So as you cast your druid craft and make a sort of a visage of the moon itself, a couple of fish jump at the same time, and the frog spits out his tongue, grabs two of them, and swallows them whole. And he pats his belly. Thanks, friend. Do you want some?
Sure.
Okay. Do that thing again.
I cast Druidcraft again.
And as you do, like 5 of them hop out, and he spits his tongue out, and he's able to grab 3, and you watch as it rolls up, and right before they get into his mouth, he lets go, and he grabs them, and he's sort of like how you would carry firewood, like a bunch of firewood. He's carrying 3 of the fish like that, and he sort of like squats down, shakes his hindquarters a little bit, and he jumps up the canal right next to you. So it's like a 20-foot jump to get to where you're at, and he does it effortlessly. And he puts the fish down, and he takes out a small dagger and stabs them all in the gills to where they stop flopping around. And he puts his dagger back, and he looks at you. What's your name? I'm Lurt.
Quinn. Nice to meet you,
Well.
Mr. Lurch.
Nice to meet you too, Quinn. Most people don't come out this late, so it's easier fishing.
I see. I didn't know that myself. Thanks for the fish.
Yeah. Make sure though that you only do it at night, because if you don't, well, the Blue Fish Gang will get you.
Blue Fish Gang.
Yeah. They usually try to make sure that no one goes around fishing, so that they get all the fish in the harbor, and then they sell it for overpriced portions of gold. Makes it real hard for a grung to eat, but we make do.
Oh, well, if you ever need any help, try to find me. We'll be here for a bit.
Oh, where do you live then?
I'm pointing towards. We'll just be around here. I mean, currently we're staying in the inn. We're travelers.
Oh, very cool. I've not met a lot of travelers. I usually keep to myself and my people.
Oh well, you just gained a friend today, pal. And thanks for the
Very
heads up
cool.
for the gang too.
Yeah, no problem. By the way, they end up giving all of these silvery fish to a traveling cart that goes around the dock selling them. It's another grung. He's a blue-colored one, but don't let him trick you. Those fish are overpriced.
I know what's up. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, no problem. And then he turns around and he jumps back onto his lily pad, and as he lands, it barely causes a ripple in the steady flowing canal. And he turns around and just goes back to fishing.
How many things of fish do I have?
You have 3 silver fish.
Okay, thank you. Also, does food? No, I mean, I'm sure food spoils, but like, is there like a chart on?
Is there a chart?
Yeah, for like how long it takes for something to spoil.
Not really, but I would say it would probably take, if you don't cure it or anything like that, it'll probably spoil in 5 days.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
So
There
Daryl,
is.
you got, like,
Have a great
month
day.
to worry about it.
Exactly.
All right.
Other than that, your watch goes pretty uneventful. Balrin's watch, he doesn't see anything. And luckily, nothing was going to happen anyway. As you guys all rise to the sun, you finish your long rest about 7 o'clock in the morning. Sun starts coming up and peeking through the windows, and you're all starting to get ready. As the party wakes up, what do you wish to do?
I'd like to. Oh, go ahead.
I end up getting up, stretching, and I give Snooky a quick poke, like, "Hey, you happen to know what time that blacksmith opens? The forge?"
I like tilt my head. I don't know. Dawn?
I need to run over there. Gotta sell some things. I need money.
I think you got all day, buddy. That's we should wait for things to happen anyway.
You have a point.
I look over at Balrin. Hey, Balrin.
Yeah, hi.
I kind of changed my mind. Can I have 10 more of those ammos? Secret
Well,
ammos?
you see him still like flicking his revolver open, flicking it back closed, and he keeps doing that. He's like,
I'm gonna need it way more than you.
can't argue with you there. And he throws out, or he throws the sack of ammo to you. Go ahead and take it.
I find it hilarious how you're slick, making him sound like he's Irish.
Thanks, Balrin.
Realized I had Mr. DJ like all the way down when I did that. That's okay.
And then I'm gonna summon Goopy.
Okay. Goopy pops out of his container, and he's sitting there motionless, just looking at you. Every now and then there's like a little drip of slime that falls from his face.
I'm gonna ask him. I don't expect much, but did you get hurt?
He just looks at you. No emotion. No yes or no, no head nodding, no nothing.
And I kind of what I figured. So I go over to him. I say, "Who's a good Goopy?" And I try and give him a belly rub.
So as you go over and start trying to pet his belly, like you start pushing him, and he's on his back now in the same motion that you are. And then as you start to rub his belly, his tail starts to wag.
Yes. All right, that's all I really got.
I check underneath my bed real quick to make sure the jade tablet's intact.
It is there, and it is intact. Does Vikavor want to read it?
Hey,
Not today.
one for the road.
Watch him reading. The lady's gonna say, "Well, you should have read it the third. Wait, let you read it."
It was pretty clever to try and like do the whole Vietnam memorial thing on it.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Not.
Too bad it's magic.
Yep. If this world didn't have magic, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, like every time you tried to read it, it was like, bitch, bitch, bitch.
I look at.
When I was holding it on the way back, I just hear, bitch, bitch.
Actually, instead, as you pull the tablet out and start looking at it, all of a sudden, out of the corner of the room, oh, well, I'm glad no one tried anything last night to take that from you. I did see a couple of folks watching your window quite closely, but, well, let's just say they'll never be an issue again.
Buenos dias, Mr. Sir.
Joker's fine.
Hi,
Alright,
Joker.
Mr. Joker. Buenos dias.
Well, I've really just come for the tablets, and I guess a question that sort of came into my mind as I was watching over your room last night. Do you perhaps like this type of work? Would you be willing to do more in the future?
I actually like it myself. It was pretty fun last night.
I have a question. Do you like literally mean more auction work or like underground cool stuff?
The latter. The
But,
auction, every now and then, we might have something that you could do there, but, well, from now on, everyone's seen your face, and you still have my token, do you not?
I pull it out.
Well, every 2 weeks, mid-month and at the end of the month, there's an auction. So feel free, but I don't expect you to be able to get everything like you did last night. Although, in theory, you didn't get everything either. They do a high stakes bid after everyone has left. Those are where the good items are.
Wait, the tablet, what doesn't count as a good item?
It is, but the fact that no one's able to summarize what it even says without getting a painstaking headache, and he looks over at Vikavor. You know what I mean, don't you?
A little.
I thought so. No, the tablet was more of a ploy to see who has a large assortment of money. And now, everyone in town thinks that you're some of the richest travelers around. But that
Not
shouldn't be a
true.
bother.
Oh, I guess we're in for some future interesting characters.
Well,
Perhaps.
we're not, so
But typically, great power great sums of money brings great sums of power. And the fact that you swept that whole entire auction, besides the paintings, of course, I don't anticipate anyone being after you, but you never know.
yeah.
Considering the poor part of the city, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, plenty of people like to hide out in the poor parts to make them a little less of a target. So you're not the first to think of that. But it is clever. It is clever.
So say Joker. Say we obviously we're adventurers. Say we're not in town and we want to make the auction. Are there other entry points?
Yes, essentially, every capital has a ruby palace. It may be under this different name and a different guise, but usually where you can find fine jewels, you'll find the ruby palace, and you'll find somebody that's guarding a secret entrance.
So basically, if I go into any main capital, I can look around for some symbols and I wink at him, stuff like that. I should be able to figure it out.
Precisely. You are a clever one. I knew I picked well.
tails going.
Well, I do anticipate having a few more jobs for you, and if you want a little more high stakes, a little more pay, well, we'd have to do an induction ceremony. But how about I give you a little bit of a test run first? Give me a few days and I'll have a target for you. Impress me, and perhaps maybe you can join us.
Target.
I understand if you're not allowed to disclose this, but if we join you, what enemies will we be making?
In theory, every criminal faction is at odds with each other, but we do have temporary alliances with most. Our main concern is the nest. But as long as you stay out of the sewers, they shouldn't be an issue to you.
I haven't heard of the nest before, have I?
Roll a history check. You've heard of a couple different slaving factions. The most notable is the nest. That's essentially like what they do to earn a
Okay.
lot of their money.
Is slavery illegal in this continent or world? Do I know the laws of some of the areas?
You would know that pretty much all of the kingdoms, so all the capitals, slavery is illegal.
Okay.
And it's usually punishable based on if they find out that if you're partaking in the buying of slaves, usually you get some sort of loss or some sort of heavy fine and jail time. But if you're participating in actively rounding people up and selling them, usually it's punishable by death. And that's almost like a blanket statement to each of the capitals and empires. Granted, some of them are a little more lenient, especially in times of war. With your history check, you know that the Titanians are one of them. Usually in times of war,
I didn't need
they...
history check for that. I had that in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. During times of war, anybody that they don't kill straight up, they will use as essentially prisoners of war to do a lot of the hard labor to continue funding and helping their nation to grow.
Cool.
But just about all the other ones are typically they have like a zero tolerance, but it still happens.
Cool, thank you.
And after, what you guys saw last night, you understand kind of how it's capable of happening.
I say, the nest. Well, though I am a dog, I don't care for sewers either, so.
Yes, they smell quite disgusting, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you like a little more spunk in your sniffing.
Well, interesting you should ask that. As a dog, like, nothing really smells bad. Everything just smells interesting. I'm just scared of the sewers.
Scared of them?
Has anything ever good happened in a sewer? I shake.
He starts to stroke his chin. I guess not. I've killed many people in the sewers.
Yeah, I know.
And I've smelled many different shit in the sewer as well.
Even if you go there for a good time, you're not gonna have a good time. But that's just like my experience,
Very
Okay.
true, very true.
Don't
Well
take this the
then.
wrong way. Also,
Oh.
if we decide not to continue doing missions for you guys. Are we an enemy of you?
Oh, not at all. In fact, you're more of an accomplice. So we would assume that you wouldn't deal or meddle in our dealings, and we won't meddle in yours. Now, granted, you don't have to be a member to still get some jobs from me. But just know that these jobs will be more of the sort of outsider. You won't really have a lot of information kind of things.
No, totally makes sense. I just wanted to make sure, like, you're giving us an option without threatening to kill us. Is he being truthful? Can I, like...
Roll insight.
Come on.
His words seem genuine, but with your dealings in relationships like these, it's a heads or tails. Sometimes they're telling the truth and sometimes they're not. And with this character, you're not exactly sure how to convey that message.
Okay. Alright.
Well, I expect you to be staying in town for a few days. Can I find you here? Or should I seek elsewhere?
That was gonna be my next thing. I was gonna say, we're probably planning on sticking around for a while, unless duty calls elsewhere. What would be the best way to get in touch with you before we leave, or if we leave?
Well, how about if you toss that coin up in the air, very casually, flick it with your thumb a couple times. I'll understand that you're looking for me. And I'll come to you.
I kinda figured that as I was looking at the coin.
That's cool. Okay.
Well then,
So,
he steps forward. The emerald tablet, please.
I grab it from underneath the bed, stand up, and hand it to him. As promised.
Perfect. And I guess, your reward, would you like money or perhaps an item?
Item.
Considering my situation, I'm a bit broke at the moment.
Saberwolf, you can always get more money, but sometimes it's hard to come across cool items, even when you have money.
As I scratch my head, I guess you're right. An item.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I don't.
Before I forget, if I could have my coin purse, I don't want that getting into the wrong hands. I don't remember
Who
which
has
one
the
of you
name?
has the actual coin purse. I think it's Quinn.
Do it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Hey, Joker, full disclosure here. We noticed the cool aspect of the bag and how it can split. And so
I saw.
we can gold out of there. Is this something that we can do, or should we like not do that?
Well, how about this? Let me get those bags and I'll make you proper ones. Otherwise, you could lose everything. And we don't want that.
Okie dokie.
He has a point. I take mine out.
Yeah, I'll give him my back.
Yeah, give him my sack.
We just thought it was really cool.
Oh yes, and it was made to be able to split like that, and essentially you would be able to house all of your coin, but if we were to extract more from the bag that is the original, it would empty your own coin sack.
That makes sense.
And I'll be honest, we do it quite often, just to make sure. But I happen to have an extra.
There you go.
Would you like that, or would you like a party compensation?
I say compensation.
What is that?
What is what? This compensation?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say 500 gold for each of you.
I look at Saberwolf and say, now, we could do some naughty things with this gold bag. We could give it to somebody and then eventually empty their gold bag.
I love this dog.
Here, we'll pay you this much gold for this item. A day later, back in our pouch.
Okay. You know what? Let's take the bag. You know, like years ago, I said that you can always make some money elsewhere. It's no problem.
The City of Guilds is never short on work. It just depends on how dirty you want to get.
See.
Very well. He takes all of the bags that you guys duplicated, and you watch as he says deposit, and all of them deposit into his bag. He then hands you a single coin pouch. You already understand exactly how to withdraw and deposit. I'll go over the aspects of how it could potentially empty other people's pockets for you. The original bag will always be the primary. The next bag created will be the secondary, so on and so forth. Whatever the last bag conjured, if the primary bag doesn't have sufficient funds, it will take from that bag and fill itself. Does that make sense?
Sure does. I look around the room and be like, hey, I'm talking, are we cool with this?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good. No harm in that. Swindling is, it's a new one for me, but I'm willing to try.
All I know
It
is we
is the
couldn't buy
gateway.
I'm gonna. I like try to be like Joker. He's kind of my idol right now.
Well now, I've spent far too long chatting. I'll come and find you in a few days and have another job for you. Make sure to keep a low profile and be safe, I guess.
See, you as well. Hasta luego, Joko.
And he goes towards the door and he opens it, walks through, and closes it.
Well then, now that's done. Who's hungry? I could go for some breakfast. I'm starving.
I could totally go for some cat shit.
I give Snoopy the people's eyebrow. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Quinn?
Yeah,
Vigavor?
let's do it. But before we do that, can I, just for something that may come in the future, can I get one of those, get a duplicate bag?
Sure.
Like, can I duplicate it real quick? Okay. I don't know who has the bag. Snoopy?
Sure.
Oh, I'll
Alright,
start
okay.
mine. And I just will put all of my money in there.
Okay.
You can hold the main one. I'm not gonna put money in it, in the duplicate one. I just
You just get to put 1 gold in it.
yeah. I give you 1 gold.
Okay.
So you can give me back the
And
bag
I
with
say
1 gold.
withdraw 1, and it makes the bag.
Okay.
So we'll put in Snoopy's bag, or in your items, put primary gold bag, and then for Vikavor put gold bag 2, as in number 2, and whoever else takes one, make sure to number it because it could matter.
We should not make any
Hold on,
more
what?
currently.
Because I'm assuming everyone's getting this magical gold bag duplicated for them, correct?
I don't. Do we all need one right now? Whatever we do, I want to have the last.
You want it
No.
last?
Yeah, if everybody else gets a bag.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on mine then. I'm just not gonna get one.
Okay.
Does Quinn want a bag?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Okay, so put on your sheet gold bag number 2, and then Vikavor put gold bag number 3.
Okay.
And out of character, Brady, those items that we got from the auction, during that long rest, were we ever tempered to them, or?
Yep, you were attuned to them. Your sheets, I modified them before the session. So now all your grapple checks will have a +1 added to it. Your token, if you click on it in the bottom right of the map, you'll actually see one that says poison. So that'll be the poison damage if you have someone grappled that you'll get to do while you're having them grappled. And that's only if they don't have armor. Snoopy, you have the secret ammo shot. So essentially you'll press that button. It'll pop up a thing asking if you have sneak attack or not. It's defaulted to say no, so you can just click submit, but then it'll pop up that thing and it'll either roll the sneak attack damage with it or it'll put a 0. But yeah, that's your, and I also updated your sneak attack to where it looks cooler instead of just number.
That's sick. Hey, I don't know if I mentioned this, but like, could I put my sneak attack damage in damage 2?
Yeah, that'd be perfectly fine, actually.
I feel like then I wouldn't have to push sneak attack.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, that'd be fine. And make sure the damage type just says sneak attack, that way we know. Because it'll obviously be the exact same as the damage. Vikavor, I have also added to your saving throws and your attack modifiers, so you don't have to do anything extra. You just click on your spells like normal. For Quinn...
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
So the extra spell slot, I don't add that.
No. You end up... what does it say? Once per day, I think. You get to just add an extra spell slot.
Cool. Okay.
In addition, you can regain 1 spell slot as an action while holding the rod. And you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, so...
So is that
Yes.
technically I could have up to 2 extra ones?
No. So, well, in theory, the way it would work is right now at the end of a long rest, you have your 2 spell slots. You can use both of those, do a short rest, get your 2 spell slots back. You can use both of those, do another short rest, get those 2 spell slots back. Use both of those, use your rod, get 1 spell slot back. Take a long rest, get both your spell slots back, and the Rod of the Pack Keeper ability back.
Okay, so if like we're mid-battle, I have to take an action.
Yeah, you'd have to use an action to regain a spell slot. So, and that's kind of what it's meant for, is for you to maybe be in a tight spot and be like, oh shit, I need a spell.
Yeah. Okay.
For Quinn, I also... I haven't gone through it. I meant to go through and add all the spells for you and highlight them as being from the staff itself. Currently, until I think it's the 6th month, it is the spring season. Or no. It's the 4th month right now. 5th, 6th. So until the 7th month, it's in spring form. But you can use an action, or no, I think you have to use 10 minutes to make it change to a different season for 8 hours. Also on your token, I've added a macro called Season Staff. And when you click on it, it's going to give you a little drop down. So whatever season it's in, you'll just click whichever one, submit it, and it'll roll the attacks at advantage, the normal quarterstaff damage, and the damage for whatever season it's in.
Okay, and where can I find this at? Because I don't see.
You can find your items that you guys have obtained in the journal tab. Go down to
Oh, okay.
items and go to obtained.
I thought this was on my character sheet where I could.
Damn, Brady, these macros are pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
I've been trying to make everything look pretty, put a little extra oomph. Plus, macros just make this game so much easier than pen and paper. If I ever do get like an in-house game, we're using Roll20 for the character sheets for sure.
So how'd you make that macro?
To make it,
Oh, okay, no, I
go-
see it.
see it.
It's not on the actual sheet. It's on the thing. Oh, dude, that
Yeah.
is sick. I'm gonna test it out real quick if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Man, if only my pus was poisoned.
Do you know which one that is by me doing it? Does it say?
Yeah, it says the damage type. It doesn't say which one you picked. I haven't figured out how to make it display that.
Oh, okay, that's what I meant.
But yeah, necrotic is fall. So spring does radiant damage, summer does fire damage, fall does necrotic damage, and winter does cold damage.
Dude, this is dope.
And it is a quarterstaff, so the bludgeoning damage is correct because your strength modifier is shitty. And actually, I need to make sure. Okay, yeah, the attack modifier is fine because it's adding your proficiency, and it is a +2. So, yep, it is correct. I did it right.
And then if I want to cast like one of the, I'll just let you know.
Yeah. If you look on your sheet, above where like your stats and stuff are, I put a little.
That's my charges.
Yeah. So you regain 1d6 plus 2 charges every dawn. If you ever use the final charge of the staff, it has a chance of being destroyed, so be careful.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially, if you use the last charge, so if you have 1 charge left and you use it, you roll a d20, and if you roll a 1, it becomes a non-magical quarterstaff that you can probably sell for $300.
That's the way.
Grimy.
As a matter of fact, I happen to have a quarterstaff that I'm trying to sell right now.
Okay, so you guys are wanting to go look for some food?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Snoopy and actually, does Saberwolf have the keen smell feature, or I don't think he does, or does he
No.
with the lycanthrope? Okay.
It didn't say
Snoopy.
anything on the-
After Joker leaves and you start to like just kind of sniff the air randomly, you end up picking up a scent of fish coming off of Quinn.
Follow my nose, and as I do, I kind of tune everything out, just like any beagle would. I get up and I smell the fish really strong under wherever it is in Quinn, and I kind of like get on him and like paw at it.
Quinn, you've got Snoopy currently like trying to dig inside of your backpack.
Quinn, you got food.
I walk up to Quinn and start poking at the backpack where Snoopy's scratching at. Hey, what are you hiding in here? While my mouth is foaming up.
He went AFK, didn't he?
He's not even gonna find it. So I could just very well just take the stuff out of his bag right now.
I'm gonna try and
He
steal
fucking
the
did
fish.
it. You're gonna try to what?
Steal the fish from his backpack. The least toxic move possible.
Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand.
Snoopy wants the fish.
I turned Quinn
Oh, man, that
upside
was
down and
terrible.
hang him by his legs.
So as Snoopy's clawing at the bag, all of you notice as he tries to open it up really quick, and you can see his mage hand go in there, and then it closes the bag, and he continues to paw at the bag, and suddenly he like runs to the other side of the room to try to distract you guys, but you ultimately see the mage hand bring out one of the fish.
And I am salivating like Pavlov's dogs have never been salivating before.
Fish.
And so now I pick it up in my mouth, and you know, like when a dog has something in their mouth that they know should be taken away from them, and that kind of look they.
Yeah, they look at you like, you're not taking this from me.
I'm looking at. I start looking at Snoopy. My eyes start glowing, and like my canine instincts start kicking in because I'm hungry. And I turn back into wolf form. And it's like, give me that fish. Give me that fish. And I get down on all fours, and getting ready to chase him.
I like walk towards him and get pretty close, and I look like I'm about to do it, and then I blink on the other side of him and run out the room.
Oh no, you don't! And I end up chasing after him.
All right, so Snoopy and Saberwolf are deadass running from each other down the hallway of the inn. Gerald, are you still AFK?
Can you imagine
No, I'm
that,
good.
like the Three Stooges?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. I'm about to make this look horrifying. Like I'm like running against the walls and everything, just jumping on wall and.
I'm just like blinking back and forth all over the place.
So they just currently stole a what's it called? They just stole one of your fish. Yeah, one of your silver fish.
But how though? I didn't present it.
Snoopy was able to smell it,
But it's not
and then
on
he
me.
dug
though.
in your bag.
I don't smell
and
it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then because you were AFK, you didn't put up any resistance, so he took it.
So currently, I'm fighting. I'm fighting over this fish right now. Like I'm chasing him, trying to get the fish from him.
And also, Gerald, I took 300 gold while you were gone.
Yep, Quinn was just sitting there. I asked him what he wanted to do, but he didn't say anything, so...
Yeah,
Victor
Quinn
Boar was like,
But
hey,
that's-
can I
that's
have all your money?
technically- But that's technically PvP, right? Because
Only if the player is there.
The
Player has to be there for it to be
my
PvP.
player is there though. My player.
No.
is there.
That's your player character.
No,
This is player versus
you
player.
didn't
This would be
specify.
you.
That's PvP. Let's go. I want Snoopy and Vigor right now.
No, I didn't agree with you.
No, and my roll initiative.
Hey, we're not even in the room right now, dude. We're out,
Yeah, good luck
out and
catching
about.
No.
All right, you know
Neil-
what? I got something for this. So they're all running around and they stole my
I-
fish, right?
I didn't. Leave me out of this, okay?
You stole my
Vikavor
money.
didn't actually take
No,
your
I-
money.
I
He
didn't
was
take
joking
money.
with you.
We just took one fish.
What is the biggest thing I could wild shape into? Give me.
Probably now you're level 8, so you could actually wild shape into, I think, CR1 creatures.
Yeah, I'm about to pull up this
Oh,
thing.
brown bear.
Yeah, you should be able to do a bear. Which love fish, by the way.
I'm a wild shape into a bear.
Okay. So as they run out with his one of his fish, Vikavor, you watch as Quinn kind of looks at his backpack, and he watches as they're running out of the way, and you see his eyes flare up with this sort of green mystical effect. All of a sudden, his arms start to grow brown patches of hair. His the palms of his hands get extremely large, and his fingers turn into claws. And his snout, where his chin and nose are, they elongate, and all of a sudden, he turns into this big old vicious brown bear. And he lets out
Wow. Here we go. Here it is, Brady. I was waiting for. Nah, he can't. Nah, he. That was good. Nah, but he. I want to transform to a black bear. And I wanna
Okay, you
make
can
that
be a black
noise.
bear. Okay, he transforms into a black bear.
Okay, so where are they at right now? Where are y'all at?
They're in the hallway, and you guys definitely hear this bear just roar.
I stop for a moment and get back on my two legs, just flare up my left ear and look back towards the room.
I stop and
Okay.
I look back and it's totally a game to Snoopy right now.
Okay, so are they? So like, where are y'all in front of me? Like, what's the position of? Because I need to know this. What is their position? Like, where are they? Like to me?
Okay, so outside,
am I
as you
blocking the
walk
staircase?
outside of... No, there's no staircase. It's a single story.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 2 stories.
You walk out of your room, and they're about 10 feet to 20 feet. What's his name? Saberwolf is 10 feet away from you, and Snoopy's 20 feet away from you. And they're down the hallway a little bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna come out the room, and then I am going to get a running start, and then roll towards them.
Oh,
So,
this is a challenge.
Daryl, you see me I see you start coming, and I just kind of like do that thing where dog looks like they're about ready to go left or right. And as you're rolling towards me, right when you get there, I blink on the other side of you and run out the hallway.
And as he's getting ready to roll towards us, I swell up real quick. Like, oh, a challenge! And plant my feet into the ground and begin to get ready to catch him. In his
Are you casting Enlarge on yourself?
I am not.
Okay, you said swell up, so I was like, oh shit.
No,
He's firing
that. I won't do that.
Okay, so as he transforms and does his grizzly bear call, both of you stop and look back. And as he he walks out casually out of the room, and as he looks at you, he sniffs the air and he starts to run. Saberwolf, you being in the way, you kind of get ready to catch him, but you can see that he's not after you, so you sort of sidestep him to let him go after Snoopy. And Snoopy's sitting there, sort of on all fours, like crouched down a little bit. Looks like he's going to go left, then right, and then all of a sudden he just, boom, out of existence on the other side of Saberwolf, starts running down the hallway. Grizzly Bear Quinn turns around, and as he's coming forward, he rolls up into a ball and starts to roll into you. Go ahead and roll me a do a athletics check, Saberwolf. And then do an athletics check or a acrobatics check for Quinn and Brown Bear form.
Okay,
Which
so
your
what would
brown
I?
bear-
Yeah, what would I do for that?
You'll add a +4. So roll a d20 +4. Saberwolf, as you tumble, and you know, Saberwolf is able to grab you, and his claws on his feet start to dig into the boards as you know, they start to make that that chiseling effect where like a long string of wood starts to curl up from where his toes were, and he's able to lift you up, and all of a sudden, Saberwolf, you hear from the brown bear that you currently are able to hold right now.
And when I notice no one's coming, I turn around and like ready for them to come after me again. They can stop running and wait.
I
Okay.
placed Quinn right back down. Never again. And then I get back into all fours and jump over Quinn and start chasing Snoopy again.
And like I just had
Okay.
dropped the fish on the ground, and the second Saberwolf starts coming, I pick it back up and start running away. Kirsten, what do you think so far?
Yeah. Kirsten is muted, so I don't even know if she's actually listening.
I just
Wait,
oh
There she
What?
is.
Sorry.
I was just laughing at how this session's going so far.
This is great. I'm enjoying it immensely.
Okay. This is usually what it's like.
Yeah, all I know is there's bears rolling toward wolves, and then the dog just F's right on out.
Snoopy's got a habit of vamping out of trouble or into it.
True, it really could go either way. As you are doing this, Vikavor, what are you doing while you watch all these shenanigans?
I'm just gonna like shake my head in disappointment and then go in my room and close the door.
This is what he meant to say.
So Vikavor comes out, and he goes, Eldritch no. He shakes his head, goes down to the door next, or the next door, opens it up, and closes it behind him. A bunch of
Did I see
idiots.
him-
Yeah, I'll say all of
Oh.
you guys watched him as he did that.
Is he within 40 feet?
Yes.
As the door's closing, I want to blink into his room right in front of him.
Okay. So you walk into your room, Vikavor, and you sort of close the door, but you know, kind of closes on its own, so you kind of just walk in, and as it's closing, all of a sudden you hear, or you smell fish.
Oh jeez.
I
Look around.
do like since I lose track of Snoopy, I do like a quick sniff.
Yeah, can I keen smell and figure out where he is? Or does
I
it?
mean, you
do
guys
not?
saw, or
Oh,
actually
we saw
no.
him go into the room.
Never mind, he blinked, so yeah, you would just see him be there, and then all of a sudden gone. Go ahead and both of you roll perception. Gerald, you get advantage on it.
And I'm just sitting in front of Vikavor, like, I kind of drop the fish, and then, like, look up at him, and if he makes any move, I pick it up and move again.
And you add 1, so you got a 22. So, as Saberwolf looks around, he starts to sniff the air, but he, like, the whole hallway smells like fish at this point. But Gerald, with his keen senses, he's starting to sniff around, and he gets next to Vikovor's door, and he gets a really strong scent of the fish on the other side.
So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna knock on the door, just like a normal knock, but then like roar really loud.
Okay. So you knock. Do you wait to answer, or do you just knock and then like a second later you roar?
I knock the first time and then roar.
Okay.
He's gonna get.
Okay, so-
All right. With like a giant eye roll, I'm going to like go swing the door open and just point at Snoopy.
Hold on. When I see Vikavor walk towards the door, can I try and slip the salmon like either like in his hand as he's reaching out for the door?
Oh my god.
Slide a hand check from both of you.
And
Whoever gets the highest has the will have the.
do it.
Oh,
God.
Do it. Do it.
Come on, natural one. Vikavor, you reach out for the doorknob, and right as you're about to grab it, all of a sudden a fish is in your way, and you grab the fish, grab the doorknob, and you're kind of just sitting there. You haven't opened the door yet.
I poke my
But
head
you've got-
around the door
And
and
I go,
look at the
No, I
fish.
thought he opened the door.
So I haven't opened it yet, but so I would
Oh, I-
obviously feel it.
I say,
Feel it.
come in, I'm in here.
Yeah. Wait. Okay, so if I haven't opened the door yet, I'm gonna just take the fish and squish it underneath the door now, because I noticed it in my hand, I guess.
Okay, so you now have the fish in your hand, and you put it onto the ground and use your boot. And what you notice, Quinn, is you just see like parts of this fish like just starting to protrude from underneath the door. It's probably like maybe half an inch wide. So a lot of the scales and the skin is starting to rip apart, and you start to see the bones start to protrude, and it's just all like a funky mess. But eventually he pushes it all out, and then there's a
I'm
fireball
like-
explosion.
No.
I'm like looking at that in the bottom, and like I'm on all fours at first, and then I just get back on my two legs like, no, dude, it's gross, and then go back to human form and walk away.
Yeah, it's same. I break concentration and just all right, never mind. And I cast Druidcraft to like make everything smell better, and I just leave.
Alright, I go back up, I go to the fish, and just keep it in my mouth and walk around.
I begin walking down the stairs, and I'll be up front if you guys need me. Figure out anything needs.
Yeah, I got you, Saberwolf. So I'm gonna go down to the kitchen and try to cook what 2 fishes I have.
I'll let you know
Okay.
when I don't have the fish, by the way.
Okay, noted. So Vikavor, you end up squishing the fish. You see Snoopy's mage hand open up the door and walk out, and he's very proud. He picks up the remains of the squishy fishy, and Quinn goes and grabs his bag with Saberwolf, and they start to head towards the front of the inn. What does Vikavor do? Do you stay in your room?
I'm gonna go wash the fish off my hand.
Okay.
So
You
I
do
no
have
fi-
a
no fish
personal
in it.
bathroom, so you'd be able to wash your hands real quick.
Okay, wash my hands, and then I'm gonna go find. Where did Saberwolf say he was going?
They said they
Uh,
would be at the front, which
Okay,
happens
then
to
I'm
be
gonna
where
head down.
the kitchens are for this inn.
Okay, I'm gonna head down there with them.
Okay. Balrin pokes his head out and goes, I'll meet you guys there in a minute. I just gotta grease up my legs.
Yeah, go ahead and handle that.
So in the kitchen, you see, Quinn, a lot of different supplies, a lot of cooking utensils, things like that. Obviously, there's a stove top and plenty of pots and pans to make the fish. Describe what type of fish dish you want to make, or don't, and just roll. Survival for cooking.
Is it roll survival?
Correct. So Quinn, first time in the kitchen, he grabs the biggest knife in the kitchen, which is not what you typically use for a fish, and he just starts to chop it into pieces. He doesn't debone it, he doesn't descale it, but he gets it into these pieces. He puts it into the pan, and he starts or he pours a lot of oil to where
So
it
looks
actually
about
covers
the
the
same
whole
as the one that
fish.
got shoved under a...
Exactly. And he starts to cook it, and as he's cooking it, like suddenly the oil gets heated enough with the fish that the moisture from the fish starts to make all the oil like splash around and stuff, and it starts to burn your hand every now and then, Quinn, and you're like, fuck, shit, ooh.
I'm just leaning back against the wall with my arms crossed, just looking with the people's eyebrow.
After about 10 minutes, he takes the pan off of the stove, and he drains a whole cup of oil out of the pan, and he puts in a bowl these fish bits. Essentially, they're crispy, they're juicy, but from what you can tell, Saberwolf, they still have bone in them. Now there's one more fish. Do you cook that one too, Quinn?
You want me to take
Yep.
care of that one?
Oh, Saberwolf asked you if you want him to try.
No, I insist, buddy.
So, you've learned from your mistakes a little bit. Instead of very small pieces, you just cut it in half, but you keep the bone in there. And you do the same thing. You put a bunch of oil, you start cooking it, it does the exact same thing, but now it's just a bigger piece. Now you have very oily fish bits.
Yeah.
All right. Here you go. And I, put the plate out there so he can.
I take a nibble out of the second one.
Doesn't taste terrible, but it's pretty oily. The natural fish flavor is essentially cooked out of it. Now it just tastes like straight up olive oil, but it's still edible. It's just crunchy in some places.
Oh, it's not that bad. Could be better, but thank you. Oh. I'd start killing that second.
Vikavor and Snoopy, you arrive obviously before he's even done cooking, and when Quinn dishes up the meal. He's got these silverfish. They're not super small. They're probably about a foot long. I don't know, 3 inches in diameter. So they're decent size. They should be able to feed you guys for like breakfast and lunch. Especially if Snoopy just keeps his squished one.
Yeah, I'm good with mine.
Okay, I'm just gonna go over and are they portioned like the fish you said? Portioned out like on a plate?
I believe so. Is that what you did, Quinn?
Oh yeah, there's enough for everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna go over and grab a piece and say thank you, Quinn.
Oh yes.
You know, this party could use a woman's touch, you know?
Oh yeah, we could get Elspeth on our team. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, your mouth's full, mister.
And then I'm just gonna look over at Snoopy. I'm gonna be like, "Don't talk with your mouth full, dog."
I start signing with my mage hand.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone chose sign language as a second language, so
As far as I see, it looks like gang signs to me, so I don't even understand. I'm just thinking you're set tripping right now. Oh, it was not bad. I got my energy up. I'm ready to move. I really want to sell some stuff. Want to know if they're open. Need a quick gold.
Does everybody agree with Saberwolf then?
Yeah, let's head out.
All right. Anything? If there's anything else that you guys want to do in here, I mean, we could wait here for a bit, or we can go ahead and go out. Plus, I wanted to check out the rest of the city. We got nothing but time, right?
Wait, guys, wait for me! And Balrin, you hear him clanking, and as he rounds the corner, his right leg just shatters, and he falls over onto his face. He's like, "Ah, damn it!"
Oh, can I go up to him and like look at his maker's mark and just shake my head when I see it?
I'm just imagining like while this whole thing is going down, like he's like, "Hey, wait up, guys!" and you just hear squeaks coming from the. Just bust the shit.
Noted that his brand is no good.
He's and he ends up sort of like sitting up, and he looks at you, Snoopy, just shaking your head. He goes, "I know. I should have honestly worked on it myself, I guess. At least he had some spare parts. I should be able to go and get a new leg. But yeah, you guys yeah, I'll do that. But I'll catch up with you guys later, probably."
All right, yeah. Take all the time you need, and I give him a salute.
And he salutes back, I guess. I think that's a Balrin thing to do.
That's how I begin.
Okay. So, the two places that you know have things to sell are the Artisans District, in the Golden Square. You've heard and seen a little bit of shops at the Trifle, but you don't know exactly what's over there. So which location do you guys want to go?
I don't want to go to that area. Check that out, because I mean it's a newer area that we haven't checked out yet.
Which one? All I heard you say was, "I want to go check out that area." Oh, the Trifle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody want to do anything else? Or
No, I'm just following the group. I don't have anything personal.
Yeah, I
I
don't have
would
anything
say
particular.
we either get a job or probably, I don't know, should we just kind of not worry about
hey, if anything, we could
children?
see about the. We could see about the.
Okay.
You just It's reminded me of something that we gotta at least check on them. But on the way, we could also check out the Mr. Dragon fella, see if he has another job available.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Okay. Guess that's on the list. We have all day, right?
True.
Alright, so I guess we definitely need a cab.
Okay. Your cabbie is out there, Ollivander.
Hey, Oliver.
Thought you guys
how
would
you
need
doing
some
today?
help. Oh, I'm doing terrific. How about yourselves? You all sleep well? You were out quite late last night.
See, it could be better, but we had fun last night, right?
As long as you're having fun.
Hey, anybody think you could cover the charge this time? Running kind of dry.
Sure.
Yeah, I got it. How much is it?
Oh, yeah, Big Horse got it.
I believe it's one gold, right, Ollivander?
Correct. That'll last you the whole day.
1 gold. Here it goes.
Nice and easy.
He said it's about like how long did that whole entire debacle go on with the fish? Like, was that like a good? Like 5?
It's not. Yeah, it was only like 10 minutes long. Actually, we'll say 15 since you guys cooked it as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you're still like 7 something then.
Yeah, 7:15, 7:30. We'll round up.
All right. So I guess we're going to the trifle. Check out that area. Been a while since I looked in this.
All right, perfect. Which tier?
They're theaters. Interesting.
Yes, the lower tier is mostly made of sort of like some hand-carved materials, things like that. It's more of a farmer's market, if you will. The second tier is a little bit finer goods, but still not the best. And then the top tier, that's where all your good stuff is, but it's also very expensive.
Let's check out the mid-tier one first.
Perfect. He and starts heading off. You guys it only takes like 10 minutes for you to get from the outer portions of the forge to the trifle. And as you get there, you notice that most of this location right here, now that you're kind of paying a little bit more attention, most of it is like pasture, farmland. There's a lot of cows, horses, and it's about a mile-ish long by about half a mile. So it's a pretty large pasture. Lots of the farm animals and stuff are raised here. You can see a couple folks making some deals and taking some of the animals off to their own place, wherever they head. But as you get to the trifle, you notice that it's almost like think of like a layered cake. The bottom is the thickest. There's the most people or the most shops anyway. And then there's it's almost like a spiral as it goes up to the very top. But there's plenty of room for the carts to have essentially a coming and going lane. So he starts to climb up this sort of spire and gets to the second tier. And all right, well, there you are. If you want anything in particular, you could possibly go and check out illustrated inscriptions over there. Bards and Nobles is on the end of the street. And yeah, just see what see what you can see. I don't know what exactly you're looking for, but you should be able to find it.
Thank you. I will be right back. Hey, hey, Vikavor. You think you'll follow me for a second?
Yeah, no worries.
And as we start walking out, I pull out my quarterstaff and look to him like, hey, you think you could work that magic that you did at the auction last night with someone here?
Possibly. Depends who it is. We can try it.
Are there any people walking around, Brady?
Oh yeah, there's people all over the place.
Any particular characters? Like anybody who would be interested in anything of the magics?
Possibly. You see some folks that are dressed in sort of like priestly garb over by a well, and you can see them currently conducting some sort of ceremony around the well. You see some other folks that are walking around that look to be wearing sort of like wizardy robes, and they're going around, and essentially what they're doing is they're waving their hands over the various plants and it looks like they're stimulating their growth a little bit, then walking away. But other than that, there's a lot of handmade goods on this tier. So a lot of people are buying some walking sticks and things like that at one of the places called Illustrated Inscriptions.
Is there anybody younger around, or what's the age groups here?
Various age groups, but most of the younger people that are probably teens and younger are accompanied by at least a young adult.
Okay. I don't know who would buy something like that here. You point them out and we'll try it.
Yeah, let's try the old wizardy fellows over there. They look like very magical people.
Okay.
Towards people tending towards the plants and all.
Okay. Let me see that staff real quick.
All right, I hand them the staff.
Okay. I'm gonna Brady. I'm gonna walk over to one of the younger, whoever the youngest of the wizardy people helping the plant.
Okay. So you head over to him, and he is currently growing some of the flowers that are in a little planter box.
I'm gonna walk up to him and be like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing there?"
Oh, hello. I'm doing quite well. Can I help you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were somebody else. I have this. Actually, I mean, maybe that's not your problem. Somebody was gonna meet me here and buy this magical staff I have, but I guess they didn't show up.
I guess not. No. Anyway, thanks.
Yeah.
He
well,
continues
hang on a
to
second.
grow.
Hang on a second.
Oh.
You kind of look like you know a little bit of magic yourself.
Right. And you think I want to buy your staff? I have one. And he pulls out a little wand. He's like, well, guess it's not a staff, but it's what they gave me in school.
Oh, really? They gave you that thing? In my school, they only gave those to people as jokes.
Really?
Maybe you could benefit from this. Yeah, this stuff's actually really
what
good.
school did you go to here? There's not that many.
I was actually trained by a very, very, very high wizard. I don't know if you've heard of Timar.
Can't say that I do. He's not one of the wizards of Gandahar.
Yeah, he's from a higher school, and I was able to be taught by him privately. So
wow.
Yeah, Yeah, the wizard I was gonna meet here was a very powerful wizard. He just was all about the staff. He was gonna give me like 5,000 gold for it, but I just don't have room for it in my bag. If you had like 300 gold, I'd just let you have it because I gotta get going. I can't hold on to this forever.
Oh, well, I mean, if you were going to give it to a powerful wizard, I don't want to get beat again, so I'm not going to buy it, sorry.
No, I wasn't gonna give
Plus,
it to him.
just a question, why would you sell it to a powerful wizard for 5,000, but you would sell it to a lowly mage like me for 300? That doesn't seem like a very good, economy. I think maybe you should pay somebody to do your finances for you, like a financial advisor.
I would do that if I had 300 gold to do it, but I just can't hire. But you know what? You might be able to help me out. Do you have 300 gold?
Oh, no, but I've got 5.
500 or 5 gold?
No, 5 gold, so I could take it off your hands if it would help. But that's all my money that I've made this week.
Well, I guess you're just out of luck then. And I turn around and walk away.
I hope someone sells your 5,000 gold staff. People start to look at you.
Okay, and I go back over to Sailwolf and give him back the staff. Like, yep, looks like there's a bunch of poor people here.
Yeah, might have to go to the higher tier then. Well, it was worth a try. That was, yeah. What the fuck is that guy doing here anyway? Alright.
Excuse me. Sir?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that you were trying to sell that particular staff for 5,000 gold?
I didn't say anything in particular.
Well, maybe you didn't, but that gentleman over there said something, and I couldn't help but have that pique my interest. Are you still in the mood to sell?
This is actually his staff, so you're welcome to talk to his name is Saberwolf.
Oh, perfect.
And I kind of walk away a little bit more away from them.
So the woman that you're looking at has some, she's got this sort of like chestnut brown hair. Her bangs sort of cover up most of her eyes to where you can't see them, but she's wearing sort of like this this leather outfit, I guess, studded leather armor, and currently like dangling like or on top of her head you can see is some sort of like porcelain mask that she's got on top of her head. So 5,000 gold. Is there any chance that maybe you could give a pretty girl like myself a discount?
You are a very, very beautiful woman, as I say. We could discuss a possible discount.
Now, here's a question, though. What makes this worth 5,000 gold?
Oh, great, you should ask. And I begin backing away a little bit, and like, this staff here, this staff has slain giants. This staff is of the arcane arts that fight for the Akatosh. This thing is of the dark arts. Such a powerful staff.
The dark arts?
A monk. Me being such a beautiful monk, I'm a traveler. I have no use for such a thing. But, I could sell it. Get it out of my hands for good. I have no need for such a thing, because I use my bare hands for combat. But for you, and I step back to where it get close. For you, this staff, it could benefit you lots. You could conquer communities with this staff.
Oh, communities, you say? That is quite intriguing. So, about that discount. and she holds out her hand. What are we talking? Can I feel the staff?
Yeah. You know what? Sure. You could feel the staff. And I lean the staff towards.
Okay. And yeah, Snoopy, you should be like right near Saberwolf. I don't think they walked off from the group. Vikavor walked off and then walked back. So you guys are all together.
I'd like
Yeah,
to send a
can I-
message to Saberwolf saying,
Go for it.
remember to keep a low profile.
While she's leaning in to touch the staff, can I like cast thaumaturgy real quick and like make the ground shake?
Oh, and I was going to say
Sure.
at the same time, can I cast my precipitation and have like little shower of sparks right as she grabs it? Like
Yeah,
be above her?
definitely. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
So as Snoopy casts message while you're in the middle of your talk saying where you need to keep low profile, the moment that she grabs the staff, the ground starts to shake underneath her and the sparks fly from the top of it, and she's like, her eyes go wide and she's like, oh, why? I can definitely feel the power of this, and it's got a really good weight. And she starts to, sort of like a monk would train with a quarterstaff, essentially. So she starts to do a couple maneuvers. I don't seem to be able to make it do those things again. Is it like a one-time effect kind of deal? That makes this seem fairly cheap, honestly.
It doesn't work that way. See, honestly, it's more of a change of hand. It's identifying the potential change of ownership, per se.
Oh,
It-
so
it
because
does-
you're the owner currently, it doesn't work very well for me.
But if you were to buy it, it will identify you as the new owner. And if you were to get into any kind of scourge, a new combat, or anything like that, it will surely work in your favor. I guarantee it. As I get closer to her.
Very, very interesting indeed. So, what's your price then? And as she asks for the price, she's looking it over. And while you think of it, I'm just gonna practice a bit, see if it really fits me. And she pulls her mask down to cover her face a little bit, which it's not. Oh. Can you hear us, Gerald?
Yeah, now I can. It keeps like cutting in and out.
Okay, gotcha. She puts the mask on her face, and you can still see her eyes, but it's got like a very large grin, and it's got these sort of like red markings around the forehead that come down the bridge of the nose. And she actually, it's quite ominous looking. It's a little more out there compared to like the mask the Joker wears. But they don't look anything like each other. But as she starts to sort of swing the staff, so what is your asking price?
Beginning price was 5,000, but for such a beautiful woman like you, I could make it pass for 900.
900. Oh, bother. And as she says bother, all of a sudden the crowd starts to get louder and people start to move and bump into your way and excuse me, and oof, she falls. Make a perception check for me.
Oh no.
At disadvantage.
All of us or just him?
Just him. Well, I guess if you're next to him and if Snoopy's next to him,
Okay.
you guys can make a perception check as well. And it is at disadvantage. These people are coming around and they're loud. They're talking about random stuff to where you can hardly even hear your own thoughts. You there, Snoop Dogg?
Oh, sorry, my thing cut out. I thought you were I will roll perception as well, if that's.
Yeah. So as you guys are looking around, like Saberwolf, you start to like try to move the crowd to go and help her up, and as you get to the spot where she fell, you look and she's not there. Vikavor, a lot of these folks are taller than you, and you're having a hard time seeing past them and hearing, but you see Saberwolf kind of just standing there, so you're like, oh, maybe he's got it under control. Snoopy, what you notice is you notice her sort of drop down, but immediately like roll and start to crawl, and then hop up and sort of start, not really Naruto running, but running low to the ground. But within like 5 feet of her moving, you completely lose her as more people crowd around, and you see that she has left the area. And as she gets out of y'all's range, make a wisdom saving throw, please, all three of you. Unfortunately, as she leaves and all these people are moving around, you kind of look around at each other and go, who was I just talking to?
God damn it.
Saberwolf, you do not remember the face of this woman at all. You don't remember what she sounds like. You do not remember what she was wearing. Neither do the rest of you.
17 didn't beat it.
Nope.
Well, that's good we forgot what she looks like.
So now Saberwolf's standing there, and the one thing you do know is you don't have your quarterstaff anymore. And just as quickly as they came, all of these random people that started walking around start to sort of spread out, and now the streets are sort of around the low to moderate range of people walking around doing their shopping. It was like a lunch hour surge almost, where they're doing like a buy one get one free at a place, and then suddenly everybody's there, and you're like, oh my god.
Check my bag and like, where the hell is my staff? Wasn't I selling this thing to somebody? I'm like literally extremely puzzled, just sitting, trying to figure out what just happened.
Your friends are there too, and they look just as puzzled as you do.
Well then.
I just go, well, I guess that's what happens when you try to bamboozle people that know how to use magic.
True. I knew we should have blasted her the second she was here. No, actually, I don't know that. So wait, I'm confused. Hang on. Do we just can't remember her face, but we know that somebody
Can't
took the
remember it. Well, you could guess that someone took your staff, yeah. All you know is that your staff is gone, and you don't remember talking to anybody except for that poor boy that was growing a rose. But right now, that's your only lead.
Say, Wolf, that guy over there with watering those flowers, he's the only one that knew we had that.
Why don't you go ask him? It would be kind of weird if I walk up to him and talk to him.
Saberwolf, do you see a quarterstaff in that little child's hand? I think
As you look over, you see him with a wand making plants grow.
Yeah.
I think we got our losses on this a 2 silver piece of wood.
Well, hang on. It was a very powerful magic staff. I don't know, maybe you'd be interested in buying one of those.
Yeah, right. I could sell you yeah, I could sell it for you right now. I got shit, I don't have it on me. Hey, Vikavor, do you have another quarterstaff on you?
I don't, but what I do have is this very magical thorny tiara. It's made from an ogre's head crown.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yes, yeah, we were on a trip and we end up claiming that off the corpse of a captain. Would you be interested in this sort of thing, Snoopy? It's such a strong, valuable tiara.
I still have the fish in my mouth. And I just kind of like
Yep.
shake my head and say, come on, guys. Don't bamboozle the bamboozler.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. You might need such a valuable item, you know? And I give him a scratch in the head. Someone as strong and swift as you, would you want to look kind of sexy doing it? A very noble dog.
My mage hand points to my eye patch and my super cool cloak.
Yes, exactly. You can add to that style. Put that tiara on your head and you'll just be, the baddest son of a...
Well, hang on, say Wolf. I don't think he has any money, anyways. So.
Hey, you guys know we're pretty skilled and we can earn money instead of trying to make more powerful enemies.
Bro. You're no fun.
Gain favor and money at the same time.
Hear ye, hear ye! Slidora under siege, plains ripped asunder, Minotaur threat increasing, everything on fire. You hear a town crier that's walking around shouting that out, and people are starting to whisper and murmur about the fall, or the inevitable fall of the Slidora Empire.
Empire. Your new empire. Wait,
None of
they're
my
saying
business.
an empire being killed by minotaurs?
Correct.
Like, what's an empire in this game? Would that be like this one or more?
Yeah, the City of Guilds essentially is an empire itself. It's one of the 9.
Sounds like a lot of minotaurs.
Demon Lord Baphomet leads the Minotaur siege.
As I heard that, I'm like walking back towards the cabin. I stop. Demon Lord. And turn back and look at him.
Slidora thought to have only a few days left. Any able body willing to help to face Dagon's wrath on the sea, meet at the docks. A lot of the people start shaking their head, and you can hear a couple of commoners go, "Don't they know what happened to the Guista Empire when we sent people to help them? None of them even made it there. Dagon sunk their ships. Thousands of people died at sea that day. And thousands more will die this time. No, I say we don't go. Let them burn."
I'm like, I put a gesture like I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, nope, not my problem, and start walking back towards the cab.
I look over at Sarah. I'm like, think anybody will buy this thorny crown? Start walking with him too.
Maybe we could try.
That tall, skinny white guy with the beard might. What's he carrying? Is that? Never mind.
Tall, skinny white guy with a
really long beard. Yeah, he's got some guys following him, writing stuff down.
Hey, how about we
Did I just get kicked out of the group?
let's go to the higher
think
tier
so.
real quick. Let's see if I could swindle some of the rich folk in the higher tier. See if we can make that work. Anybody down to that trip?
Let's check with Snoopy real quick. Maybe he has an idea what
Hey.
we should be doing.
Snoop Dogg, You have any ideas on what we should do with the tiara? Or the cistas that I have? I'm trying to sell this stuff. We need I want to see just how snob-nosed these people just are. See if we can get over on them. I am having fun with this.
I'm gonna look over at Snoopy and be like, you know, you've talked to me in my mind before.
Well, oh. I point to him and send a message, and because I don't want to drop my fish.
Okay.
We could just steal the money instead of swindling. It's the same thing.
No, it was a fine line. No, we're not gonna do that. That's a fine line.
We could always also kill people and take their money.
Or we can get a job.
Oh, look at you with your job. Going to the job store with your job.
But to be fair, we do have a decent contact to give us another quest to
True.
kill something or capture.
And while we're out there, we can cut down some trees and make more quarterstaffs for you to sell.
And we could do that too. That's a good idea.
How do you feel about going back to the Hollyoak just for a brief drop by, just to see?
Maybe Elsbeth is there too.
True.
As you say that, I get my face turns into a serious face immediately. Yes, we have to go over.
Then I do that like dog die inside face, like, oh god, what did I do?
Tight.
All right, first, let's go ahead and see what the dragon fella has as far as work. See if we can get something else from him, and then we'll drop by and see if my girls are.
Okay. Unless there's
What
an
the-
objection, I'll assume everyone is down to do that, and you guys hop into your cart.
After I say that, like, but I kinda want to still try to swindle the rich folk with this thorn tiara that Bikawara has. That would be interesting. See if we could pull that off.
Remember
we
the
can-
thorn tiara. Where did we get that?
I tore it off the corpse of that like ogre thing.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can give it one more try.
More try. Let's do it.
And
Two-
Are you guys
Yeah.
trying to swindle, or are you doing that at the docks?
we're gonna go to the upper trifle.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get to the upper trifle, and there's not as many people around here, but the people that you do see are dressed in very luxurious gowns and pampered. They have fine jewelry, and there's a lot of different places that seemingly sell mostly like decor and stuff like that. So like paintings and very expensive like pottery. There's a gem store, and then as you guys are walking up there, one of the first places there is a gem store, and there's a gentleman outside of the store. Ah, you all are very new here. I don't forget a face, and I've never seen you. Why don't you come and see my wares? I have many cuts of gems, every type, and if you don't have a lot of coin, perhaps we can do a bit of trade.
That sounds interesting, but hear me out. I actually have a proposition for you. How about
Interesting.
we have a fair trade? You see this thing I have? I pull out the thorn tiara. This tiara here, I'm sure you could turn this around for someone. I could sell it for you for cheap.
Or perhaps maybe my daughter would like something like that. Yes, I think she would love something. Is it authentic? Did you make it yourself? Where did you come by it?
Fine, you should ask. I begin to back up a little bit. This tiara right here, it was torn off the very head of a deadly, deadly ogre's corpse that was taken down by me and my faithful companions. It was a vicious battle, We had such a hard time. Damn near died that day, but took it as a trophy. This is a faithful trophy, as that. But us being travelers, we have no use for it because we don't have anywhere to stay. What use is a trophy if we have nowhere to place it? So, might as well sell it. No use for us. Maybe it could be a use for you or your daughter. How's that sound?
It does, but I don't deal in coin. No. I could deal you in gems or perhaps maybe geodes. Have you ever seen a geode before?
What is a geode? That sounds quite interesting.
He goes to one of the counters with a bunch of geodes and he looks at them and he grabs one. Ah, yes, this one. And he puts it in front of you. On the outside, just an ordinary rock. But, and he smacks it with a small little hammer that he pulls from his belt. And as it crumbles, bunch of like rubies that are inside of it. But on the inside, lustrous rubies. No. Typically I sell these for 100 gold at least. Because you never know what you'll find in them. Some gems are obviously worth a little bit more than others. But you could hit the bargain. Diamonds. Or even better, black diamonds. How about you pick one geode and I get the tiara? Granted, you'll at least be getting 50 gold's worth out of the geode, but I don't know how much my daughter will value this. It is a great trade.
I have my finger under my chin, and I'll lean towards Vikavor and whisper, "What do you think? I think we should go somewhere else. I'm not feeling this quite well."
Yeah, I don't think I really care about his geode. It's kind of like a scratch-off ticket, almost.
You're right. Okay, never mind. And I'll walk away.
I never forget a face. And then he tucks his hands back to himself and puts the geode back on the shelf and watches as you leave.
Okay. I have a question, Brady. People around, like people shopping that aren't shopkeepers.
Yep.
There's a lot. Is there
there's a good amount.
Okay. Do we see a woman?
Oh yeah,
Like
there's quite a few women.
Any of them? I want to go up to like one that is wearing like the most lavish clothes by themselves though, and looks like they're shopping, like they have things they bought or something.
Okay. Yeah, there's a woman currently. She's wearing like think of high class industrial revolution era clothing. And she's currently looking at this vase, and she's got one of those Chinese fans out, and she's waving herself off and fanning herself, and she's just looking at this thing. You can sort of see a sparkle in her eye, like she really wants it, but she's still not sure.
Okay, I'm gonna run over. I'm gonna not like sprint, but kind of like I'm gonna run over to her and like, Your Majesty, Your Majesty.
She looks at you. Are you insulting me?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought you were from my kingdom. Actually, I thought you were the queen.
So one thing you notice is she is a human, and she looks at you and looks at your ears. Pah! A queen of your kind? Never.
Oh, I am only a humble half elf. I apologize. I grew up in the streets of a kingdom. Not very many people like my kind there.
Good. What
I was.
can I do you for?
I apologize. I thought you were my queen. In my quest I had gathered actually a very, very precious tiara of great power. And I was going to bring it to her because she said if I ever found anything of great power to bring it to her. But you wouldn't be interested in something like that, would you? Like a tiara? You do look royal.
Well, thank you for the compliment, but no, royalty definitely doesn't dress this good.
Now, the only thing that could possibly improve that look is a beautiful tiara. I just
Show
so
it to
happen to
me.
have one. Okay, I show her the tiara I have.
Where are the gems? It's made out of sticks. Do you take me for a fool?
No, this is actually from the head of one of the most powerful ogres I've ever encountered in my life.
You want me to wear something a stinky, grubby ogre had on the... I'm done with you. Good day. And she turns around and walks away.
Now walk
Alright,
up to look at her while he's like presenting the tiara and put my hand on her. Smooth.
Yeah, we suck at scamming people there. We need to go.
Alright, we tried. Maybe we'll get someone on the way back, right? And then I start walking back towards the cab.
Okay. The Quinn's chilling at the cab waiting for you guys. And Snoopy's over there too. You guys come back. The cab driver, did you make any progress on your sales?
Oh, loads. Boosted our confidence, actually. Right, Vicavor?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, that's a win in someone's book.
Right. Well, I guess next stop. What's the name of that place again? Where
The docks?
Mr. Yeah, the docks, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, he's at the
okay.
docks at a bar called the Swordfish, typically.
Swordfish. How about we head towards the docks?
I think it's called. Or wait, no, it's not the Sword. That's the place in
That's the bar.
Sladora. My bad. But I know what you're talking about.
Is it a bar?
Certainly. It's Saladora's Fine Provisions. That's the place.
Oh.
This trip only takes like maybe 5 minutes, but more than likely less. And as you pull up, there's pretty hefty crowd. And as you're walking through the sort of entryway to the docks, with the sort of tavern, the open air tavern, like immediately to your left, you see Corgus in the same spot as he was a couple days prior. He doesn't have any drink in front of him, and he's currently just kind of sitting here. He's got a single gold coin that he's flipping up in the air. And as you guys walk through, his eyes catch you, and he grabs the coin. Looks like you're looking for more work, huh? Otherwise, I don't think you have any business here at the docks.
Brie, can I make out that coin if it was a specific coin?
It just looks like a gold coin.
Okay.
Definitely, it's not a Joker coin or anything.
That's all.
Hey, how you doing, Corgus? Yes, you read my
I'm
mind.
doing mighty fine. Got a couple extra contracts that came in, but these are some big, heavy contenders. You interested in a little scuffle?
Bigger than the cockatrice?
One could say maybe they're 10 times bigger. But there's also other things that are a little easier, possibly. All varying pay scales.
Let's see him.
Perfect.
Hey.
And he pulls out a couple of parchments, and we'll start low and end up high. How about that? And he opens one, and you see a hobgoblin, and next to the hobgoblin, sitting down, is this sort of black dog, but it's weird. The mouth is all like sort of gnarled and deformed in a way. This gentleman right here, some sort of hobgoblin warlord, or at least used to be before he was outcast when his whole clan died. I've heard that he's got these special dog breed. Something about the shadows, they're able to basically turn invisible. Don't know exactly what they'd be capable of doing, but they could serve as a mighty fine addition to the arena. What I've heard is he's got a whole pack with him, but I don't know exactly how many there are. But he's at least got a female. So, job's easy. You don't have to kill the warlord. I just need you to steal a male and a female of these dogs. Bring them back. But if you're able to get more of them, well, I'll give you 1,500 gold for a female. And I'll give you 250 gold for each additional. Anything the warlord has is yours. I don't care about it. And if they got pups, well, I'd like those too.
I looked at everybody else. How's it look?
Well, don't make your decision just yet. Got another one right here. Oh, make it 2. So, I don't know exactly how far out you've been in the woods to the southeast, but I've heard there's some sort of special bat or something that flies around, usually at night. It's got this sort of something with its feathers. Kind of makes you a little drowsy if you're not careful. They're very, very deadly creatures, but that's exactly what we need in our arena. And from what I can tell is they hunt in pairs, usually male and female. And if you're able to get them for me, 4,000 gold for both. Another one I've got,
Time out. What? How much did you say?
4,000. And if you happen to find any of their babies, I guess, maybe I could sport you another 500 gold apiece.
How much?
Not
did
really
you say?
sure. Oh, 4,000?
Oh, jeez.
Another one we've got is, you've heard of ankegs before, right?
Yes. But I don't know.
Well, yeah, they're pretty common creatures, actually, I think. Maybe not as common in civilized areas as they are in more desert and underground locations, but you guys have a druid, he's probably heard of them. Well, there's a large hive of them up in the northeast, or northwest rather, right at the base of the mountains. And from what I've heard, there's like a new hive of spiders, very big, almost as big, if not bigger than the ant kegs. They've been hunting them down, grounding them for food. I've never seen spiders like this before, and I'd be very curious as to getting a nice handful of their egg sacs or something like that. Try to breed my own. Try to make them something to fear in the arena. But from what I've heard, is they're sort of like a hive mind. So if you attack one of them, the whole hive mind will know. You better get out of there quick. But if you are able to bring any of the spiders, no matter how small, I'll give you 2,000 gold. Especially if it can reproduce. Which, if I know my biology, that should be any female.
Okay.
Final one, and this is probably the most dangerous, but it also pays the best. What do you know about dragons?
I don't.
I've heard stories.
Well,
I don't know.
whatever stories, yeah. All of you can roll an Arcana check. Rolf. There he is. So all of you have heard at least something. You've heard legends of dragons. Vikavor, you're almost certain that they don't even exist. Quinn, you've heard mention of them from Nietzsche, and he's told you wild stories about how he's transformed into dragons before to fight off hordes of creatures. Saberwolf, you've heard kind of the same things. You've heard of tales like legendary wrestlers like suplexing a dragon over the spine of a mountain and killing it in one blow. Something you aspire to do, maybe, if it's even possible. And Snoopy, you've heard a little bit more than everybody. You know that each colored dragon has a different personality from the others. They all have a different way of dealing with people, but you don't know the specifics to each of the colorations.
Okay.
Well, I've gotten reports that a green dragon's been seen somewhere in the western area of this continent. And judging by its belly, I'd say it's about ready to lay eggs. What I want is one of those eggs. If you're able to get one of those, and make sure you take plenty of good care of it on the way, 6,000 gold.
Yay.
How old is this dragon?
Couple hundred years from what I've heard. But I don't think it's the oldest of them, so you might have a chance if you were to have to face off against it. Obviously, once they lay eggs, I'm sure you know, they don't tend to leave the nest very often. So it's going to be a little bit tricky.
What if we bring the dragon?
Oh, ambitious. You were to bring me the dragon and the egg, I'll give you 20,000 gold. But that's if the dragon's alive, so good luck transporting that. I guess if you were able to somehow sedate it and keep it there, my men and I could figure something out. But really, it'd be a matter of how are you going to keep it down.
Well, I don't know. I just asking.
Try, in my enlarged state, keep punching it in the head. That always works, right?
Perhaps, but I'll be honest. Even in your enlarged state, I've seen some folks get enlarged before. You're still not even half the size of the beast.
What if I try?
This is definitely not for the faint of heart. No. Honestly, this one could be the end of some of your adventures, if not all of you. So I'd tread carefully. But they're all open to you. I can mark your map on each one of them. And he pulls out a pen. I don't remember. One of you do have a map. I think it's Quinn. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Quinn has a map. So he marks 4 locations. One of them is, or actually, I'll bring you guys to the map real quick. I'll mark these with a little thing. So he marks the. Whoop. Why didn't it move? There we go. Oh, that's big as hell.
Vicamore,
marks-
do you know major image?
Nope.
Useless.
Useless. Oh, whoops. I need to put this. There we go. So he marks 4 different locations on your map. He tells you the west one is where the green dragon is. The northwest one is where those spiders are. The southeast one is where those bat-like creatures are. And then the southern one is where that goblin warlord is with his special dogs. You should mull it over with your crew. If you're hurting for gold, maybe you could do a couple of them. I've got other few folks thinking about it, but they all seem quite skittish. And I haven't really started to branch out to the other empires, not while the sea is in the current state. But you're all travelers, right? I could start looking for work down towards the Yodian Empire. They've got some savage creatures. Especially in the jungle. Does that tickle your fancy?
Yes. Might be interested in making that trip.
Alright, well, I'll keep an ear out and I'll go ahead and alert my contacts down there that I've got some potential help for them. And they usually pay a little bit more than what I've got around here. But you're also dealing with a lot deadlier creatures.
See. Well, I guess we'll mosey it around. And I guess when we come to a decision, we, of course, will have set proposition for you. You will know when you see it.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you again, Gorgas, for the work. We'll see you soon.
Pleasure, then. And hope to see you very soon.
And I give him a nod. And begin to walk out the bar.
Does anyone have any other questions for Corgus?
Nah.
Nope.
Okay, where does the party want to go next? We'll do one more location and then we will call the session.
Alright. Guess we're
The
heading
dragon
to-
lair.
You want to go straight to the dragon lair? Alright, Gerald, we'll see you later, dude.
Yeah.
Actually, before you get off, before you... Oh, no, that wasn't even him that left, that was Kirsten. Before you go, I think
Yeah.
you guys are going to Hollyoak. Is there anything you wanted to ask any of them there?
Honestly, I was literally just going as a friendly face, checking on my girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to see if they were dead already or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I just,
How about
yeah.
I'll do you one better. As you guys go and you tell Ollivander to Hollyoak, you get there, and as you do, you can hear some sort of like shattering noise coming from inside of Holly Oak, and you can hear a bunch of screaming. And from what you can see in the windows, there's a bunch of movement going on.
Okay. I'm gonna look over at Snoopy and say we're both like, all right, well, we came here, so let's go now.
And I make a grunt and step out the cab and start walking towards it.
Okay. And as you start walking towards the door, you can start to hear 4 distinct voices all shouting at each other, various volumes. You can recognize 3 of them, but one of them's different. And as you're about to go and knock on the door, you're about 10 feet away, and all of a sudden the door slams open, and you hear a woman, "I can't believe you all did that behind my back!" And then as she walks outside, she looks and she squints. "You're the ones that brought them, aren't you?" And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Oh no.
This is the woman that walks outside.
Can you pull her up again real quick?
We already
Yeah.
know her name.
Correct.
That's Baba Lysaga, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Okay, let me end my stream and I'll be right back. Gerald, you take it easy, dude.
Yeah, I'm out.
Alright, that was a fun RP session. They they fucked around with that fish. That was hilarious. That was really funny. But anyway, appreciate everyone coming out. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, this will be my only session that I'm currently running right now. I don't have time to run the 2, nor the willpower, I guess, to run it right now. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. And until we see you next week, peace.